Hi friends. Every single one of us has games that we've never played. The Epic Game Store and Amazon games just shovel free games directly into our faces. I have so many games that I've never played, and I'm here to solve that. So I'm going to ask myself the question, what is Aztez?
Aztez. Warrior, conqueror. It's time to collect the blood from the fallen to build our empire, to appease our gods. Aztez was created by the two-man indie studio Team Colorblind. Ben Ruiz, who is a classically trained animator and also teaches game design and production. Previously, he worked on Super Meat Boy Forever on the level design team. Matthew Wenger, the other half of Team Colorblind, a little bit harder to track down. I couldn't find any information about him, other than that he worked on Team Colorblind. Team Colorblind is based in Phoenix, Arizona. Both were previously of Flashbang Studios, which brought us such titles as Raptor Copter, Jetpack Brontosaurus, and Raptor Safari HD. Aztec is an incredibly unique brawler / empire builder. You are an Aztez, an extremely powerful Aztec warrior. Your mission is to conquer and expand your empire. How do you do this, you ask? Brawling. Two-dimensional, side-scrolling, blood-spilling, brawling. When I started the game, I decided to go straight to the training to learn how to do things. The brawling is sadly quite basic. You have a standard 2 attacks, a combo up to 5 in any combination of both styles. You have aerial attacks and ground attacks, and you can combo those to juggle your enemies. There are no new skills or moves to unlock from what I've seen. What you see is what you get. You can grab and punish an enemy, or if they are stunned, you can execute them, which sends blood flying. You can pick up all that blood, which will help you replenish your health, but also fill your blood meter. When it's full, you can unleash a devastating power attack from your gods to crush your enemies. Getting through the training, I decided to start the campaign, thinking it was just going to be a standard level-based action brawler with a unique black and white art style. Wrong! I was suddenly in some kind of empire builder and had no idea what was going on. I had to go back out and look at how to play from the main menu to figure out what was going on. So, the whole point of the campaign mode is to battle and expand your empire. The game starts with you selecting your starting weapon. You can unlock more weapons via missions. Each turn starts with your empire gaining resources. After that, you will be given a randomized set of missions you can do. No 2 playthroughs are the same. You can do as many missions as you have Aztez to do. You start with 1 Aztez and therefore can only do 1 mission. Each mission has a normal reward, a bonus reward, and a punishment for failure. Most of the failure punishments are lose 1 Aztez. If you lose your last Aztez, you lose the game. Now here is where I think the game starts to fall apart. The battles are all the same. There's very little variety. New enemies come at you from time to time, and sometimes they just stack old enemies. Combat can get very difficult very quick when there's 10 enemies, 20 enemies on screen, but it just feels like the same thing over and over again. Either before you do a mission or after, you can use your inventory items. In the menu, you have 4 agents you can use. The Princess, which converts a neutral city into the Empire. The Assassin, which turns a dissenting city into a neutral city. The Conjurer, which draws you 2 random items and you get to keep 1. And the General, who prevents a city in your empire from dissenting. Each time you use one of your agents, their cost in resources goes up. This is where having more cities and more population comes in. More resources to use your agents. There are many items you can use in the game as well, like Aztez, which gives you a free Aztez when it's used. The Royal Documents grants you 12 resources if you eliminate one of your Aztez, and the Fertility Idol increases the population of one of your cities, allowing it to generate more resources. Then there is your gear, which is all the gear you've unlocked in your current playthrough. The loadout option lets you outfit your Aztez with gear. The armor is all cosmetic. I think it's all cosmetic and is always available to you during all your gaming sessions once you've unlocked it. Weapons can be assigned to the quick select buttons but must be unlocked during the current playthrough, and the same goes for the gods. Once you've done everything you can do during your turn, you can end it. Ending your turn causes the missions you didn't do to trigger their end turn events. Some missions make you lose resources, some turn a city against the Empire, and some can cause a drought. Cities will dissent, enemies will invade, and plagues will spread. Conquer the world to win the game, but it gets real hard real fast, especially for a brawler noob like myself. When you die, and you will, you'll get a nice stats screen with all your stats for all the statistical types out there. The combat may be dull at points, but the sound design is nice and punchy. Your attacks feel like they have weight behind them, and smashing enemies feels pretty good. All the animations and graphics are quite exceptional. I really enjoy the black and white and shades of gray with the bright splashes of red. Reminds me kind of like Super Hot. I just could not get into the game. The dull combat and lack of substantial upgrades from the time that I put into it just bored me to tears. They had such potential with this game, but just didn't do enough to keep me interested. Now, don't get me wrong, there's lots you can do. There's an underworld, there's boss runs, and other special missions you can partake in, but it's just kind of all just the same thing. Same combat, see how high you can get in your combos without dying. I mean, you can see the love the developers squished into this game, which kind of makes it all the more disappointing. Aztez took 7 years to develop, and by the time it came out, the world had changed. The brawler that everyone was so hyped up on just fell on numb thumbs. They only sold 2,000 copies at launch, and according to one interview, they still have not made any money off Aztez. It's quite sad to see a game that had so much care and love put into it have such a chilly reception. If you like brawlers, maybe give this a go. It's got some roguelike elements in it to try and keep some replayability, but I don't know, I just couldn't get into it. Now, you know what Aztez is. Let's take a look at the options menu. We have resolutions all the way up to 4K. I don't know why there are so many resolutions. What is going on here? Quality, high, medium, and low. It is a 2D side-scrolling game. Not really much need for a lot of quality options. Full screen on and off, vibration on and off. Sound effects and music, separate sliders. Would have been nice to have a master volume slider, but what can you do? Controls, fully rebindable on mouse, keyboard, and controller, which is nice to have. I highly recommend you play it on a controller because it is a side-scrolling brawler.
Well, that's the first game that I've looked at in this series that I really didn't enjoy. Did you enjoy Aztez? What's your favorite brawler? Leave a comment down below and let me know. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on any of my videos. Want to see this video early? Join the Patreon, patreon.com/MikeyT33. Help support me in what I'm doing. And big thanks to everyone who already is. We'll see you guys again in the next video.